Imagine this. You're 6 months pregnant, glowing with excitement about your future family, when your husband of 11 years drops a bomb. "I want an open marriage," he says, staring at you like it's the most reasonable thing in the world. My heart shattered in that moment. But little did he know, his selfishness would lead to a payback he'd never see coming. If you've ever felt the sting of betrayal from someone you trusted with your whole heart, the lies, the excuses, the utter disrespect, smash that like button right now and subscribe for more stories of heartbreak turned into triumph. Today, we're diving into a tale of a wife's unwavering love crushed by her husband's greed and the sweet justice that followed. You won't miss how she turned the tables. Let me take you back to the beginning, where everything seemed perfect. My name is Cassie, and for 11 years, I'd been the architect of our marriage. Clayton and I met in our early 20s, full of dreams and laughter. He was charming, ambitious, the kind of guy who made you feel like you were the center of his world. I handled the details. His laundry magically folded in the closet, his favorite steak sizzling on the grill just as he walked in from work, even birthday cards to his mom that he always forgot. I did it all because I loved him and I believed in us. At 32, when I found out I was pregnant, it felt like the stars had aligned. We talked about kids and those dreamy, someday conversations. I pictured our little family, cozy and complete. I planned to reveal like a scene from a rom-com. Candlelit dinner, his plate hiding the ultrasound photo. My hands trembled with excitement as I watched him lift it. But instead of joy, his face went blank. "Wow," he muttered, eyes wide like he'd been handed a ticking bomb. "That's wow." I brushed it off. Men process big news differently, right? Give him time, I told myself. He'll come around. But weeks dragged into months, and Clayton pulled away like a ghost in our own home. He'd stare at his phone late into the night, zone out when I babbled about baby names or nursery paints. "Work's crazy," he'd say when I invited him to doctor's appointments, his voice flat, eyes avoiding mine. I felt a knot in my stomach, that nagging whisper that something was wrong. Was it pre-dad jitters? I confronted him gently, but he'd insist, "Everything's fine, Cassie. Stop worrying." Deep down, my chest ached with doubt, but I pushed it aside, focusing on the tiny kicks in my belly that reminded me of our future. By my 6th month, I couldn't ignore the distance anymore. He went out with friends more often, came home smelling faintly of unfamiliar perfume, and snapped at me when I tried to talk about our life as parents. My body was changing, swelling with his child, and he treated me like an inconvenience. One evening, after dinner, I cornered him on the couch. The TV blared some mindless show, but I muted it with a shaky hand. "We need to talk," I said, my voice firmer than I felt. "Really talk about what's going on with you." He sighed, rubbing his temples like I was the one burdening him. "I've been soul-searching, Cassie, about what I want from life, who I am, and our relationship." My heart pounded in my ears. "And," I pressed, bracing myself, "I think I've always wanted an open marriage." The word slapped me like ice water. I laughed. It had to be a joke. But his face was stone serious, eyes pleading like he was a victim. "I'm ashamed I've only ever slept with one person. I feel like I'm missing out. I love you, but I need to explore." Ashamed? Of our life together? My hand instinctively went to my belly, feeling the baby shift as if sensing my turmoil. Rage bubbled up hot and bitter, but I swallowed it. "You're ashamed of only being with me?" I whispered, voice cracking. He backpedaled. "Not of you, just the lack of experiences." But it felt the same, like our 11 years were a cage he needed to escape while I carried his child. What hurt most was the timing. Here I was, vulnerable and pregnant, and he wanted freedom to chase other women. Plural. The selfishness clawed at me, but I stayed calm, strategic. If I exploded, he'd twist it, call me jealous or controlling. "Let me think about it," I said, buying time. Over the next weeks, I twisted myself into knots, convincing myself maybe I was too traditional. He was being honest. Instead of cheating secretly, that counted, right? I even proposed a compromise. Once a year, on your birthday, hire a classy escort. Discreet, no strings. I hated saying it, but I was desperate to save us. He shook his head, disgusted. That's not real, Cassie. I want connections with real people. Real people. As if I wasn't real. As if our baby wasn't enough. The timing isn't ideal, he admitted, like my pregnancy was a minor hiccup in his midlife crisis. Then the bomb. I've actually met someone. Her name's Ella. She's 18, a college freshman. Sweet, mature for her age. 18, a teenager. My 34-year-old husband wanted to sleep with a girl barely out of high school while his wife was pregnant. Humiliation burned my cheeks, tears stinging my eyes. But I didn't break. I want to meet her, I demanded. He looked shocked but agreed. At the coffee shop, Ella was everything I feared. Young, vibrant, effortless beauty. She shook my hand with a smile. Congratulations on the baby, like it was casual chit-chat. No awkwardness, just genuine charm. As she leaned toward Clayton, laughing at his jokes, I saw it. He wasn't just lusting after her youth. He craved her freedom, her lack of baggage. Our life, with its responsibilities, bored him. My heart twisted, jealousy mixing with despair. But I smiled through it, probing her with questions about her psych major. I'm into human behavior, relationships, she said brightly. Yeah, I bet. Studying how to wreck mine. Weeks later, at 8 months pregnant, I waddled through exhaustion while Clayton vanished more often. I need you to slow down with her. I begged one night, my back aching, voice pleading. Until the baby comes. Focus on us. His face hardened. I can't put my life on hold because you're uncomfortable. Uncomfortable? I exploded inside, but kept it together. Our arrangement? I never agreed. He shrugged. If you can't handle it, maybe this marriage isn't working. The ultimatum hit, like a gut punch. Accept his affair or lose him. Trapped, 9 months pregnant and financially dependent. What choice did I have? I want to be physical with Ella before the baby, he pushed. If you say no, I'll do it anyway. Tears streamed down my face as I whispered. Fine, do what you want. His honesty was just cruelty in disguise. Walker arrived after 18 grueling hours of labor. Clayton was there, but distant, checking his phone between contractions. He held our son for photos, but his eyes were elsewhere. At home, I did it all alone. Feedings, diapers, sleepless nights, while he needed space with Ella. You're micromanaging, he'd snap when I asked for help. By October, with Walker 9 weeks old, I was shattered. Watch him so I can nap? I pleaded. I have plans with Ella. Cancel them. You're his mother. This is what mothers do. That broke me. And you're his father. He packed a bag. I'm leaving to figure things out. Just like that, he abandoned us. I learned later he'd moved in with Ella that day, while I rocked our crying baby. He played house with a teen. Humiliation turned to fury, but I still hoped he'd return. In November, I tried reconciling. For Walker, I said, he moved back, but nothing changed. Text to Ella, 0 effort. Why stop talking to her? She's important. Choose, us or her. That's not fair. You're controlling. Done. I called a divorce attorney friend. Help me protect my son. She listened to the saga, open marriage, affair, abandonment, and said, You've tried everything. Some people can't be fixed. I moved to New Hampshire with Walker, 3 hours away, for a fresh start. Job hunting, daycare, scary but freeing. Clayton didn't fight, didn't call for 6 weeks. When he did, it was to whine, You're keeping him from me, then act like a father. But he never did. Through mediation, I laid it all bare, his demands, the affair, abandoning a newborn. He sat there, fidgeting, face paling as a mediator outlined child support, visitation he'd never use, and how his personal life was now public record. No expensive lawyers? Fine, but I exposed his selfishness in black and white. He begged for leniency. This is complicated. But I stared him down. No, Clayton, you made it simple when you walked out. Shock twisted his features, regret flashing as he realized he'd lost everything. His family, his image, his easy life. I walked out empowered, papers in hand, knowing he'd regret choosing fleeting thrills over us. His teenage fling? Already crumbling under real responsibility. Karma hit hard. He was alone, paying for a child he ignored, humiliated by his own choices. In the end, betrayal teaches us our worth. Sometimes the best revenge isn't destruction. It's rising above, stronger, showing them what they lost forever. Trust your gut. Karma handles the rest. What do you think? Was her revenge satisfying enough? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this story hit home, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more tales of betrayal and badass comebacks. Share if you got a story like this. You might see it featured next. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.